Okay. So how's everyone? Good.
Hey, where's the glass windows at, Paul?
Oh, we're right here. So tell me, anybody's very first time to the Space Needle?
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
We're going too fast, folks.
Okay.
Oh!
Well, my name is David, and I will be your 41-second tour guide on the way to the top. We're traveling here at the rate of 800 feet per minute, which is 10 miles per hour. We're looking out here towards the north, which would be towards Canada. Directly in front of us on the hill, you'll see 3 large communication towers. That is called Queen Anne Hill, Seattle's oldest residential neighborhood. Between 2 of those towers, a large white brick building is Queen Anne High School, now converted to luxury apartments. Down to the right, this body of water is called Lake Union, and that's where you'll find the famous houseboat to Sleepless in Seattle. We're here at the top at 520 feet, which is 184 meters in height. We have an inside-outside observation deck. The telescopes are free. Sky Cafe if you're hungry or thirsty, and tour guides dressed in yellow.
Hey,
So here we are.
Yeah,
We're already here. Welcome to the top.
The name because when Washington was first looking to become a state, obviously they needed a capital like any other state. Seattle put forward the real strong bids. We're the best city in Washington, as everybody knows. They really ought to have given us the capital, so we were so sure they would. We call that Capitol Hill. We set aside 6 acres on top of that hill, so we're going to build the Capitol building right here. Well, turns out they didn't want us. They picked Olympia about 60 miles to the south. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. But we, being the stubborn Seattleites that we are, decided to call it Capitol Hill anyway and know it by that name even to this day. That 6-acre patch of land that was meant to be used for the Capitol building is now Volunteer Park, named for the people of Seattle who fought in the Spanish-American War around the turn of the century. Home to the Seattle Asian Art Museum, that small beige building on the very top of the hill there. Also home to Lakeview Cemetery, which is the burial site of martial arts legend Bruce Lee right here in Seattle. Further along the left, we have at the bottom, we have Husky Stadium there, a very unique shaped stadium, shaped like my arms here, with overhangs protecting the fans from the cold and rain during the college football season in the fall, while exposing the University of Washington Husky football players themselves cruelly to the elements there. Not sure if that's a fair way to do it. They're the ones doing all the work anyway, right? Husky Stadium is one of only 2 stadiums in the country located on a natural body of water. You can't see it behind the build here, but Lake Union curves up to the right there, goes through Mount Lake Cut and actually joins the first residential district, and was known at the time as Eden Hill, but changed its name in the 1880s after a growing number of houses were being built in the Queen Anne style on that hill. The Queen Anne style later became known as the one that inspired gingerbread houses. If you were to head out to that hill, look at the historic district of it, you might see some houses that are so charming, you just want to eat them. I wouldn't suggest it though. Seattle is a clean city, but not that clean. We got atop the hill, we got 3 broadcasting towers for ABC, CBS, and NBC. Explains their massive height up there. Between the rightmost 2 towers, very large, impressive-looking building. That was the Queen Anne Public High School, opened in 1909 as one of Seattle's very first public schools, and one that really revolutionized the educational system in the city here. It became a historic landmark over the years, and in 1981 finally closed its doors to students. Personally, I think they did that just because they didn't feel high school students deserved the view from atop that hill. Much as I hate to say it, working on the Space Needle, I'd like to think this is the greatest view of the city you can ever get, but atop Queen Anne Hill, there's one thing you can see up there that you can't see from here, and that's the Space Needle itself. Check any postcards you'll find down in the gift shop we're taking to Perry Park right at the top of that hill there. It's probably the best view of the city you'll get anywhere. Anyway, that high school reopened in 1987 as a series of luxury apartments, with 139 luxury apartments there. But as a historic monument of the city of Seattle, one of our very first public schools, they were not allowed to remove any of the distinguishing characteristics that signified it as a public high school. It's also, the address of that building is the address given by Frasier in his self-titled television show as where he lives in that apartment, but you know the writers of that show are lying when they put that in the script, because if Frasier really lived there, you'd find a big green chalkboard in the middle of his living room, and rows of lockers out in the hallways, and even a drinking fountain in his bathroom there. It's a very unique place to live up there in the Queen Anne Public High School. Directly below us, we have some of the attractions of the Seattle Center, of which the Space Needle is a part. You can look directly over, you can see Memorial Stadium, football stadium there, built in the 1940s and served for a long time as the home of the Seattle Sounders soccer team, actually, which now shares Seattle Seahawks Stadium with the Seahawks. It's now used mostly by about 9 high school football teams to play, and also for concerts and special events. The building to the right of that is one of the strangest looking buildings you'll ever see anywhere in the world. That's the Experience Music Project. Recognizable as a wavy form, lots of strange colors, strange metal structures on top. Experience Music Project was the brainchild of Paul Allen, who was the co-founder of Microsoft. He's also the owner of the Seattle Seahawks, also one of the richest men in the world. Also has a great affinity for Jimi Hendrix, and built that museum in commemoration of Jimi Hendrix and other Northwest area rock musicians. It has the world's largest collection of Jimi Hendrix memorabilia, many exhibits of the history of rock music and its roots in jazz and the blues, and also hours and hours of fun in the form of interactive exhibits, including one where you can form your own virtual rock and roll band. They'll teach you how to play many different instruments. They'll even let you sing. If your voice is too grating, they'll manipulate it in 8 different ways using the very same computer technology that makes Britney Spears listenable. Down there in the Experience Music Project, great way to spend the day. If anyone would like to hear more about the city of Seattle, we have the next tour starting to the west, overlooking Puget Sound in just about a minute here. Thank you very much for your time. I'll be in the area if you have any more questions about the new year. Thanks a lot. So a little one, if there's yeah, it's real small.
Been around, baby.
Are we at the top now?
We're at the top. Look how high we are. Let's go look in the water. We might be able to see where we're going to go tonight.
Whoa, where?
See the football field down there?
No, I see the river.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, let me
And
know.
we're higher. And we're higher. Oh, I can see the carnival.
Yeah.
Pretty neat up here, huh? Look at that ride.
Yeah.
Coming. Airplanes. Yeah, we'll go to Ferris wheel after. We should probably warn them that we're only going to go on the Ferris wheel. Okay, they're going to go on the Ferris wheel though. We're not going to go on any other ride.
You walk around this way?
This is the Pacific Science Center. And the big white dome part is the Boeing next to the 60-foot tall screen.
Пароход там есть. Смотрите, пароход.
But you want to see there's a boat out there. You want to see it? Over here.
Скотина, трудно, листочек.
Oh, they're looking at
That's
Bring mich bitte schon.
Bitte, Jung, bitte. Садись лучше. Виталий.
So we'll probably just wait and see her on Friday.
Что это? Они соединятся. Это и надо здесь работает. Там.
Where's the train? I think it's a train. Monorail.
4 years old, yes. I'm 1999.
Look how he's up there having
It doesn't have a retract. It's fine. The reason for that is because something different.
You mean we don't have to spend money?
Not completely seal off the stadium, like the bar, the lock,
Where's mine? Where are you looking?
I'm so sorry.
Mine's behind that
Daddy, don't get your tablet. Daddy, look at the paper.
You look at this thing from here, and you shake your head back and forth, and you see a number. You shake it pretty hard.
제가 안에 선도이거든. 어느 순간에 박사님 선도이
What do you think?
Ow! Enough, enough, no more. Get down. Get down. Get down. Now. You are doing what I don't want you to do. Get down. Stop climbing on that. Sam, you know where it is.
And the Calgary Tower is like,
Oh, loves it.
Come on. Hey, I found the monorail station, Mom.
What?
I found the monorail station.
Yes, did he have that? Yeah, okay. Down here. All right. So where was it look like over there? Well, here's the cottage down here. It's a big music museum. Yeah.
But we're not at the top.
and I wonder how many people are going to join us. But my name is Patty, and I'm going to talk about the view that we're looking at right now. And right behind me is Queen Anne Hill, and Queen Anne Hill is the oldest residential area of Seattle. And on top of Queen Anne Hill is an apartment building, that building up there, that beautiful building. It had been a high school till 1981, and then that was the last graduating class, and in 1985 they turned it into an apartment building. But it's an historic building of Seattle, so they even have chalkboards in people's apartment and other things to do with a high school. And this lake right here is Lake Union. It was named Union because it is in between saltwater Puget Sound and freshwater Lake Washington. You can see a little bit of Lake Washington above the trees. Lake Union is the home of most of our houseboats. Seattle area has 450 houseboats, and most of them are on Lake Union. And also the famous houseboat from Sleepless in Seattle is on that lake. And you can see it from boat or from the park, but not from this angle. But the man that owns that houseboat now, he's owned it for a little more than 10 years, and he's a friendly guy, and when the boat goes by, he doesn't mind waving at them and stuff. But But I'm thinking the person that had the houseboat during the movie, and then all of a sudden that publicity of that house being so special, that person's privacy, he didn't like it, so he put it up for sale, even though it's a beautiful houseboat. Now the park north is Gasworks Park. It had been a gas plant till 1975, and then the city of Seattle turned it into a park, and it has a sculpture from the remains of the gas plant that was there. Now south of Lake Union is where you can catch a seaplane and take off for Canada, Victoria, or you could go to the San Juan Islands, and all you'd have to do is call Kid Warrior and go where you wanted to. During the day, they're taking off and landing all the time. But it's strange, I haven't even noticed one today. Yeah, here they're coming in, yeah. And now, I-5 is just on that hill that goes all the way down to California, all the way up to Canada. Well, if you follow I-5 all the way to the bridge, where the Lake Union is, at the top of Lake Union, and then you go east. All those buildings up there, that's the University of Washington, and the University of Washington has over 35,000 students going there a year with 16 major schools. And Husky Stadium is there, and if you happen to be an alumni and lived on Lake Washington, you could just hop in your boat and take your boat to a game and just park on Lake Washington and walk up to the stadium and watch the game and avoid all of the traffic. And then just south of that, all those beautiful trees over there, a lot of those trees and land was set aside for the state capital of Washington by our pioneers. But Olivia complained that we had already had the public university, and so they said we did the state capital. So if you wanted to go to the state capital of Washington, it's an hour and a half south of us in Olympia. And so the area, a lot of that area is a beautiful park called Volunteer Park, and Volunteer Park was named after the volunteers that fought in the Spanish-American War.
Stadium.
I'll get no present for having you guys. Alright, let's just look at the cake. I'm not taking the picture. I didn't know.
we also went to like a retreat. Okay, they don't call it banquet, they call it.
It has to be cheating for someone to fly out.
The University
I'm
of
gonna
North
touch the water.
It's like right over, look, see the bridge? The freeway? Like just past it, you see the construction kind of goes riots out. I can't really describe it, it's like white. Okay, now pan to the right of it. That's two right. You want to like pan. Alright, you see that Spanish building, right? Like pan a little bit to the right. See like this grayish structure?
Yeah, my eyes are getting hot. I'm looking.
And those are both. See that? You don't see it?
I cannot see that.
Yeah. That's the Husky Stadium. No, I meant this picture. Not that one. But between that big building that you see and that, in between all that is University of Washington.
My hand looks
I was like, you don't see that? You're like, what great thing?
Well, we gotta go inside first. That's alright. That's alright. Yeah, I know. We gotta go inside so we can go play on the rides. You wanna go on the rides?
Floating residence out there, even more famous than the rest, and that's its houseboats. Got about 450 floating homes on that lake right now, all privately owned. One of them, perhaps more famous than all the rest, and that's the houseboat from the film Sleepless in Seattle. I don't know if you've seen that movie. You may remember that Will Casey's character lived in the houseboat on Lake Union. But it's a real houseboat, more that still is privately owned. Right about on the right bank, where it goes in the corner there, in Washington. Seaplane coming in right now. We'll probably make it around the lake in the next few minutes or so. Anyway, that houseboat is not open to the public. It is a private residence. As I said, it's the family living there. It's actually like the night in the bedroom.
I'm not looking. Picture.
Okay, we're gonna go down one more level to our restaurant. I promised the people that I'd pick them up there, so if you guys could just take scooching steps to the sides and to the back, please. That would be wonderful if you could just scooch this way, okay, right this way. Just fill in those little tiny holes here and there. That'd be great, all the way to the back and sides.
Can we all go here?
Alright. How many you got here, two? Would you like to hang out in the front with me? Sure. Wonderful. Ooh, Instagram. Thanks a lot. Sorry. That's okay, don't worry about it. Nice and cozy, huh? Well, does anybody have any questions for me on the way down about Seattle, Space Needle? Oh. Some people are. We have to take lighter elevators, so, which is fine. No questions?
Has anyone ever died in these elevators?
No.
Thank God.
No. Well, my suggestion, if you're looking to go downtown Seattle, monorail is running tonight. The monorail. It's just here right out through the double doors. It's $3 round trip, so if you're already parked here, you want to go downtown, bite to eat, I don't know. We're still hungry from the restaurant, but there's lots of stuff to do down there. Drops you off at 5th and Pine, so the right of park.